Assalamu alaikum. Hello guys, welcome to another episode, and today inshallah we are talking about what not to eat and what to eat for suhoor during Ramadan. So this video is dedicated to my fellow students and anyone who wants to make their Ramadan as effective and as active as possible. So basically this is a reflection of the past Ramadans that I have experienced, and it is a call for change for myself and for anyone who wants to make their Ramadan effective. So I have realized that in the past Ramadans, I used to be this sleeping zombie throughout the day, and as much as I can remember, I used to eat very well. I mean, not very well in terms of a good diet, but I used to eat a lot of food, but then I'd find myself very tired during the day, and sometimes even very, very hungry during the day, that I was unable to perform my swala with khushu'. I was unable to do my schoolwork. It was just so dreadful that I never looked forward to the next day. So in this, this made me look back and see what was the problem. So I realized it is all it is all about the type of food we choose to eat. It is not about the quantity of the food we eat, but the quality of what the food carries. So in this video, we are looking at the foods that can make us have a bad day. There could be things that we are used to, we think they are right for us to eat, but then they don't apply right now, because it is what we eat that reflects to the energy we have throughout the day. So if we do not eat well, if we do not eat good food, then it means that we are going to have the most terrible experience during the month of Ramadan. So here is what we should not eat. First of all, is anything that contains caffeine. It could be tea, it could be coffee. These guys contain some percentage of caffeine, and caffeine makes us pee a lot. And peeing reflects to or results to dehydration, and dehydration makes us thirsty. And when we become thirsty, you guys know that feeling of just wanting to grab a glass of water in the middle of the day in Ramadan. So what can we substitute this for then? We are people who like hot stuff, especially at suhoor time. We want to give a halo to the stomach. So I'm also a lover of tea. So something that we can substitute for this is warm milk, or maybe even warm water. But this is not just a good idea for us. Another thing we should avoid is salty food at suhoor time. We know the effect of salt, people. Salt makes us feel dehydrated. And I'm not holding this because this contains salt. It's because of what we cook from this. We make French fries, we make viazi karai, we make bajia. So those things normally contain a lot of salt, and they could be a very bad idea for us to eat during suhoor. When you look at the potatoes themselves, they contain starch, and starch, these are simple sugars. So eating French fries at suhoor is a very big joke, because that is not just a good idea. So salty food is not something to go for. And a real life examples is chapati too. We have had this feeling of feeling thirsty when we eat chapati. So chapati isn't also a good idea for suhoor, guys. It is something we should avoid. Perhaps take it at iftar, but not at suhoor, because suhoor is usually the ground of us preparing for the whole day. So it's not a good idea to take salty food. Another thing we should avoid is spicy food. Spicy food and salty food have the same effect, so we should avoid such, because they make us feel dehydrated. Another thing I also mentioned is avoiding simple sugars. Okay, some of us could choose to eat biscuits, mashallah, for suhoor, but that is just not a good idea. Eating biscuits for suhoor, those things are going to be digested really fast, and that means that they won't stay in the stomach for long, and that also means that they don't produce the energy that you need for you to study, for you to be productive in Ramadan. So that is not just a good idea. So those are some of the foods we should avoid during Ramadan. So guys, I'm sure you're asking yourself, what should we eat if anything that contains caffeine is a no-go zone, if anything that contains a lot of salt is not a good thing to do, if something that contains spices isn't a good thing, if simple sugars are not a good idea, then what should we go for? And the answer is right in front of you. So what we should go for is basically something that contains a lot of fiber. And why fiber? Because fibers take a long time to be digested, and because of that they make us feel full for a very long time, and dates are a very good source of fiber. Another thing is that fibers also prevent constipation. So anything that contains fiber is something that we should go for. Another thing that we should look at is something that contains complex carbohydrates or complex sugars, and dates here is one of those things. Why complex carbohydrates? Because these ones, once they are digested, they release a lot of energy, and we need that energy, trust me, for us to make our Ramadan very much effective. And it is not always about the quantity, it is about the quality. So I went down to look at the number of dates we need to eat for us to feel full for a whole day, and wallahi it goes down to 4 to 5 dates. Subhanallah, this shows that it is always about quality and not quantity. So 5 dates are sufficient to make you full. Imagine comparing this to maybe rice. Like, this is even economic. Like, it is a good way to economize as a student or someone who is planning to budget their life. Another source of complex carbohydrates could be grains like rice. Yeah, any type of grains can be a good source of carbohydrates. Yeah. So another thing we should also look to incorporate in our meals is something that is soapy, soup, that is. So that in turn gives us water to our body. So we could, if we can't make soups, then we can decide to sip water between suhoor until fajr, or even between iftar and suhoor. Like, we just keep on constantly taking water so that we can feel hydrated and have effective Ramadan in turn. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I haven't mentioned some of the things that were here, but you guys can do some research and see what these guys here help us with, because I didn't want to make this video too long. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this with your family and drop those comments there. Wallahi, they mean so much to me, because they give me that vibe that somebody somewhere is watching and they are benefiting from this. So if you have benefited in any way, please leave that comment below there. Tell your friends to subscribe, tell them to also comment when they come here, and tell them to like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Ma'asalam, and I wish you all Ramadan Mubarak and Saum Maqbool. Thank you so much. Bye.